Good morning, Laguna Woods. Happy Monday, Music Monday. What a great week this is. This is the week before Christmas. In fact, we're 1 week away from that great day. We're going to go ahead and play one of those great Rick Muchow shows that we had on 2 weeks ago because we like hearing his music. And this coming Sunday, on the 23rd, Rick is going to be our guest worship leader at Saddleback Laguna Woods at both our 9 and our 11 a.m. services. I hope you'll come out and join us for worship next Sunday. Let's enjoy Rick and that conversation and the music that he provides us. Have a great day. Good morning, Laguna Woods. It's Monday again, and I hope you had a good weekend. I know I did. I love Sundays when we get to gather together and worship the Lord. And but this is another Monday, a Music Monday, and I know a lot of you tell me that you tune in, especially on Mondays, because we feature a song typically, and it's a song then that we can sing to ourselves all week, and it's good to start off that way. Well, today I have one of my favorite, actually not one of my favorite, I think my favorite worship leader of all time, Rick Muchow. In the old days, when I joined Saddleback, I was called the third Rick. Because there was Rick, and then Rick Muchow, and then way down was Rick Bradford. But anyway, so Rick, it's great to have you on the show. And
it's a pleasure.
Rick was the worship leader at Saddleback for how many years?
24 and a half.
24 and a half. I often round off to 25. but 24. How did you end up coming to Saddleback in the first place?
That's a great question.
I never.
People ask me that question. I always think there's
because you weren't from this area.
No, there's the practical answer, and then there's the godly answer, which I do believe that God had it scripted, and step by step He brought me here. So the godly script would be that I became a Christian when I was 17 years old, and this church that reached out to me, they taught me how to read the Bible, and they taught me how to have a quiet time, and I started building my life on Jesus Christ, depending on Him as much as I knew how, learning to trust in Him. And then I went to college and had no idea what I wanted to do with my music degree. And then there was a Southern Baptist pastor. We allowed to say Southern Baptist on this network?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Well, network is actually a strong word for it anyway.
Yeah, okay, all right. So on this show.
Yeah.
So anyway, this Baptist pastor asked me if I'd like to come and do youth and music at his church. What was interesting about that is that this church was not that far away from where I lived.
Yeah.
It was on Warren Avenue. And I didn't know who Warren was, but I remember the street, Warren. And then I looked around and I saw there was 2 acres of property and a little church on it, but there were condos being built around the church. And this pastor said, would you consider helping me reach all those people for Christ? That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And my heart just broke, and that's when I decided that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then one step led to another. Every step is a step. And you might be dealing with things in your own life. I'm sure you are. But we take it one step at a time.
We do.
And that's what I did. I just said yes to God as we went along. Well, come to find out that pastor who asked me to come to that church, his life was totally changed by the ministry of Rick Warren in college. And I mean, it
wasn't Rick Warren actually at the time.
It was Rick Warren, but not the church.
Yeah.
And they were just college buddies.
Okay.
And then this pastor said, hey, there's a church in Southern California that just started. And they're trying to reach people for Christ, and they're doing everything they can to make things easy for people when they come into church to understand everything. And they're reaching a lot of people. And I said to him, I said, someday I'd like to be at a church just like that. And I didn't even know who Rick Warren was or whatever. Yeah. But then I did some conferences, and I was doing the music while he was speaking. And so I met him that way. And then one step led to another step.
Yeah.
And then one day he invited me to come to Saddleback when we were in the gymnasium, Trabuco Hills
Yeah.
High School.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. And then my wife said, yeah, you need to take the job. And I said, yes, Lord. I mean, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, Rick, and so Rick's gone on, and he now, you are a great, these are just things I wrote down, but from composer, worship leader, singer, recording artist. But one of your, by the way, I've got to step back a moment because our verse for the day, we always start with the verse for the day, which is Psalm 56:4 today. In God I trust, I will not be afraid, because what can mortal man do to me? And I love that verse. I know that's an important verse for you. Well, this being Music Monday, we're going to pause right here. Rick has so many songs that have touched my life, but one of them is Healing Grace. So this is an amazing rendition that he did a few years ago with another guitarist named Doyle Dyke. So you'll enjoy this. So let's watch it right now, Rick.
Would you sing with us? Oh Lord, Holy Lord, who took my despair and put joy in its place. Oh Lord, most holy Lord, thank you for your healing grace. Your grace is changing my life in so many ways. When I thought my life was over, you were waiting there for me. Now I can see that there are good things only suffering can bring. Oh Lord, Holy Lord, who took my despair and put joy in its place. Oh Lord, most holy Lord, thank you for your healing grace. Your grace is changing my life in so many ways. I'm looking forward to the future, the work I have to do, knowing I'm forgiven and acceptable to you. Oh Lord, Holy Lord, who took my despair and put joy in its place. Oh Lord, most holy Lord, thank you for your healing grace. Thank you for your healing grace. Thank you for your healing grace. Some of the lyrics in there, when I thought my life was over, you were waiting there for me. And people that have experienced the love of Christ, they know that's true. They thought their life was over. God was there for them. And then I took a quote from A.W. Tozer, who said, I can see there are good things only suffering can bring. And what's really compelling about that now is many of you know that I'm fighting cancer. And it's been 8 months or so.
Yeah.
I have never experienced suffering until about a month and a half ago when I started having some side effects from this treatment. And the treatment's going very well, but I'd never experienced physical suffering. And I know there's all kinds of suffering, but that verse, thank you for your healing grace, because his presence is what heals us.